You are listening to the What Women Want Today podcast. If you love the idea of being part of a community of women who are looking to thrive, not just survive, you're in the right place. Join hosts Terry Cullums and Amanda Keeper each week as they bring you topics and guests to help you improve your relationships, your health, and your emotional and spiritual well-being.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the What Women Want Today podcast. I'm your host, Terry Cullums. So happy to be here with you today. 2 days after Christmas. Yesterday did not feel like the day after Christmas for whatever reason. We spent Christmas Eve in Phoenix, celebrated with Brian's children and his grandma. And so then Christmas Day didn't really feel like Christmas Day to us. We cleaned his grandma's garage, and I don't know, it just didn't feel like Christmas. So yesterday, as we're heading back down where we live in southern Arizona from the Phoenix area, it just felt like the trip that would never end. We had to stop in Tucson and do a couple of things on our way home. So although we left Phoenix at about 9:30, I don't believe we got home until about 3 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, somewhere around in there. So, of course, waking up today, I just feel tired. I don't know how you all feel. I don't know if you're recovered yet. So a lot of people like to take, the day after Christmas to just sort of relax and kind of get back to routine. But today is that day for me. So we are in the midst of the series, The 12 Days of Christmas. If you're following along with me, we're trying to figure out what 2024 is going to mean for us. And today's topic is clutter. Now, I'm not going to go really deep into this discussion today because I did an episode 5, which I'm going to link in the show notes. I'm just going to kind of give some basics and hope that you will go back and listen to episode 5. But there was a couple of things I wanted to touch on. When I started thinking about clutter, for some reason, it reminded me of a conversation that Brian and I had. It was probably at least 2 weeks ago. And he was saying that, for next year, he bought a planner, like an organizer type thing. And he said, I really just want to make 2024 a year where I just finally stop being so disorganized. He recognized that disorganization had cost him a lot of time and also some money in some instances. And he said, you know what, I'm going to write things down, because what typically happens, and I don't know if your husband is like this, but he'll say, honey, remind me to call this place, remind me to call that place. And those things just start to pile up after a while where, I'm sort of the reminder of all these things, and I have my own things that I'm trying to remember. And so oftentimes that list will just keep building, and you lose sight of some things, or what happens is that list of things suddenly keeps you awake at night. Or when you do wake up at night, it's the thing that you start thinking about. You've got all these things. And I did touch on that in episode 5, where we talked about, like that brain clutter. So I actually was trying to decide if I thought that disorganization and clutter were sort of the same thing. And I went to Google and looked for a definition there. And it's talking about how clutter is defined as a large group of usually unrelated or marginally related objects piled together in a disorganized fashion. So I'm just going to be really transparent today. Like, if you stopped over my house right now, you would walk in and you would see a what would appear to be a very clean home. There's nothing laying around. I would not be embarrassed if you showed up unannounced right at this very moment, because my dishes are done and my bed is made and everything looks on the surface to be very organized and clean, right? But if you opened up some of my drawers, like everybody has a junk drawer, right? We have a junk drawer. We have a basket that kind of sits close to the entryway where a lot of the mail has kind of piled up over the past month or so. If you opened my refrigerator, I would be embarrassed if you opened my refrigerator, to be honest with you. I am not great at organizing the refrigerator. I do have that on my list for 2024 for sure. If you went into like our nightstands, complete disaster. The surface countertop of my bathroom, pretty okay. Okay, not great, but okay. But open up the drawers and yeah, there's and underneath the bathroom sink, not very organized. My closet is extremely organized for whatever reason. And the living room, I don't have any visual clutter, but my office is usually and I think it really relates to stress, like how much we have going on is probably really closely related to how certain areas of the home look like. The garage is a complete disaster. So I would ask Brian to probably close the garage doors and have you come in through the front door. But usually, and this goes way back. Like I remember in the days when I owned my insurance agency, and my oldest daughter was working on her master's degree, and so she worked for me part time. And she's a very organized person. Like she's the person that you want to come into your house if you're struggling to get organized. Like she's just a very naturally it comes seems like it's a superpower for her, comes very easily. She's organized. And so when she worked for me, I would come into my office. She usually got there first. I would come into my office and there would be like these stacks, well, not really stacks, but just kind of laid out neatly where I could see each grouping of papers, usually client paperwork. And there would be little sticky notes on there: sign here, do this, call this person. And I tell you what, like there was nothing better a better way to start your day than to come in and feel like you already knew what you needed to do. Like, have you ever gone into a situation like a work day, or even like coming home from being away for Christmas, and we took our motor home, so there's always the unpacking of the motor home. I have a hair appointment today. Brian had some things going on today. So can you imagine the difference in your mindset if you had someone that had neatly arranged a stack of things with little notes on it that says, this is what you need to do first. Like, here's a chronological order of all the things that need to be taken care of today, from probably most important to least important. It is such a wonderful feeling. So with that in mind, Brian, when he had the conversation with me about how he was going to get more organized to save more time and some money possibly, I said to him, I go, well, maybe what we should do, in addition to you writing down work things in your organizer, is at night before we, go to, either before we go to sleep or before we start watching a TV program, is to say, hey, you know what got accomplished today from the list? What needs to be done tomorrow? Let's schedule it. Let's get it written down so that when we wake up in the middle of the night and we start to think about that thing, we're like, oh, you know what? I don't even have to think about that. It's written down already. I already know. I'm going into my day with those little sticky notes, with that little organized pile that says, these are the things I have to do today. These are the most important tasks on my list today that just have to be done. And if it doesn't have to be done tomorrow, then it doesn't go on tomorrow's list. It goes on Friday's list. It goes on Monday's list, whatever day of the week it is. And so I really like the idea of being organized so that you can go into your day being prepared, and not coming and sitting down at my desk and freezing and saying, what am I going to talk about on the podcast today? What subject, what talking points do I want to talk about? And just being all over the place and thinking, oh my goodness, I need to go get those things out of the motorhome, and I need to get to my hair appointment on time, and all the things that go in between. No, when you are organized, you can sit down and just get right to it. And so how does that relate to clutter for me? Well, to me, that says you don't go to the grocery store. Well, this is me. I'm not saying this is everybody. This is me. You don't go to the grocery store without a plan of what you need. I like to meal plan out my list. I write the meals down that I want to cook, and then I start to think about everything I need to go into that. So I think, they're pretty, it says in this article on Google, it says disorganization and clutter are related, but not the same thing. Disorganization can lead to clutter, but someone can be disorganized without having visible clutter. Me, right? Because all my visible clutter is tucked away in a drawer or in the refrigerator where I don't have to look at it. So, anyways, it says, on the other hand, someone may have clutter but still have an organized system for dealing with it. So we are going to not only work on disorganization, but we're going to work on being more clutter free. And there are some benefits, and I do go into these quite a bit in the episode, even though it's not a long episode. Episode 5 is not long. I did want to touch on some real quick reasons why we want to work on clutter or put clutter on our list for 2024. And there's 5 of them, so I'm going to go through those with you. Mental clarity. Mental clarity and decluttering can help clear our minds and reduce mental stress. When our physical space is cluttered, it leads to feelings of overwhelm and can distract us from focusing on the task at hand. By decluttering, we create a sense of mental clarity, allowing us to think more clearly and improve our overall well-being. And I will tell you this, when my office has gotten really out of control, I avoid coming in here. Like I will sometimes, I recorded episode 1 and 2 of the series in my dining room because my office was not a place that I desired to be because the clutter had gotten, I had stacks, and it's just not a fun place to be. It's not relaxing. It's not somewhere you like crave to be. Like my office is actually really pretty. It looks out onto a mountain range and there's trees and it's actually a very gorgeous view. So to not want to come and sit in here really means that I've let the clutter get a little out of control. So that kind of leads into number 2, which is increased productivity. Decluttering can significantly impact our productivity levels. A clutter-free environment promotes better organization and efficiency, making it easier to find what we need. This would be Brian. Making sure to, let's see, where did I go? It can lead to improved time management. There we go again, Brian. Reduce procrastination and increase productivity in both personal and professional pursuits. So I think we kind of nailed that one down. That's a pretty good point. This is interesting. Better decision making. Decluttering can positively affect our ability to make decisions. An organized and decluttered space can help eliminate decision fatigue. When we have fewer items to choose from and a clear space to work in, we can make decisions more efficiently and effectively. Number 4 is improved mental well-being. The psychological benefits of decluttering. It's the working space, like I said, with my desk and my office, contribute to feelings of anxiety and stress and even depression. Decluttering, we can create a more peaceful and serene environment. Like my office, I want to come in now because I've decluttered it. And it can have a positive impact on our mental well-being. And number 5, our last point, is it increases and enhances creativity and focus. Decluttering can boost creativity and focus. By removing the physical clutter, we can create a visually appealing and inspiring space. And by having a clean and organized environment, we can better focus on our work and creative endeavors. Is that the word I'm trying to say? Leading to increased productivity and innovative thinking. So I know all these things to be true. I'm wondering if you are going to put decluttering and organization on your list for 2024. I'd love to hear about it. Please come over to the Facebook group and let me know if this is going to make the list and what areas of your home are you going to focus on the most. Is there something that you just need to get better at, and you're just going to commit to, and you can commit to it in the community, and we can hold each other accountable for some of these things. I look forward to talking to you over there. I'm going to leave you with the meaning of the third day of Christmas. It's 3 French hens, right? And it is associated with prosperity and abundance. So, prosperity and abundance in different aspects of life, from wealth. Wealth can mean a lot of things to different people, and just to overall personal fulfillment. All right, I hope you're enjoying the series. Please let me know, and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Amanda, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but I sometimes will learn something really cool on a podcast, on a YouTube video, audiobook, whatever. I think I'm going to remember it, and then I forget. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, I call it brain after 40 all the time.
Well, that's what we'll officially call it. But we've come up with something. Do you want to introduce it?
Sure. It's from an app called Quick, Jim Quick, and it's an acronym called FAST.
Yeah, and the F, it stands for Facebook. So we're inviting you officially right now to come over and join us on Facebook. Get involved with the community. Share your favorite episodes with your friends on Facebook.
Yeah, the A is go ahead and take an action. So you can't remember anything if you don't act.
And S is for subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel.
And then T is teach. Teach what you've learned to somebody else. Share the love.
All right, we hope that works for you. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.